Okay, are we here? Are we here? Are we here? Somebody let me know we are here. Greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. I want to thank everybody for your continued support, of course. And if somebody could let me know if you can hear me in the chat below, I'd appreciate it. All right. Good job. Greetings, Norman Longstaff. Okay, we're gonna go back at some delve into some more of this insanity and do some reviewing of some shorts. Now, some of these I may recall of watching before, as you may well as have seen them before, but we're going to go over them and review them. Some of them a little bit older, some may be newer, but just a lot of the YouTube shorts that we see that prove the insanity and show aspects and attributes that we're actually seeking. Kind of going to give you a teeter-totter through these shorts of good attributes and just in total insanity to show you the depths and scales of the diversity that we're dealing with in this society, how to easily spot them out. So our first one here, Schoolhouse Rock for the win. Now, I've not seen this one yet, but we're going to take a peek here.
Office to defend the Constitution, but then I'm held to only codes and statutes of the Michigan legislative body, governor, and perhaps Supreme Court. That's the overarching question here, I think, and I think a lot of people
Well, I can
struggle with
recommend the
that.
Schoolhouse Rock video to you about how a bill becomes law and the law.
Funny how that comes up, because I just recently did a review on that very Schoolhouse Rock, as well as I mentioned it here recently in another video. It is a very important video if you go back and watch that. And this is relative to our solution to a lot of the problems today. You have to learn how to create your own remedy. This falls right in line and concurs with the negotiable instruments. You have to learn how to negotiate yourself in this stuff. So it is a matter of learning how the process works and creating your own, listen up, private relief law. Research it. Other than that, I can already tell that this lady really doesn't have a great in-depth knowledge of what's going on here. So she is hesitant and kind of, I'll call it misappropriating her speech. We'll listen to the rest of it, see what goes on.
Laws.
Oh, I know how it happens, Your Honor. I also know we don't have a lot of judicial review.
So
Your Honor,
that's
part
a
of
common
the-
question. Any input, Mr. Goldman?
Yes, I guess I know you just released me as the attorney of record, but I guess in support of the bond on.
Oh, judge drops a Schoolhouse Rock bomb on her.
And again, this is it says Law Talk with Mike. You'll see I've done some recent videos that also shows that I'm subscribed to his channel, so I can review some of his videos, because this guy is a total idiot. I don't give him any credit for anything. He goes through and and actually makes a mockery of people in these kind of situations and doesn't recognize what they're trying to do and the true knowledge behind some of the information they're putting out, because he thinks it's all sob sit stuff, right? So we have to learn how to be able to be more attentive to the information despite the errors and this and that, because again, just like every lie is embedded in a truth, we find out what those truths are, and that's what we can start embedding in what we do.
News, because how does my country tell me to take an oath of office to defend the Constitution, but then I'm held to only codes and statutes of the Michigan legislative body, governor, and perhaps Supreme Court?
And she makes a very good point there in this, that if she is only being held to those statutes and everything, the reading between the lines there is that they're literally estopping her from her true place in society and status, in equity, in all fairness. And part of that all fairness, folks, is the knowledge itself. These people have certain knowledge that you may or may not be aware of, and it's a learning process. I urge you to stop accusing people and bring everybody together in the realization that we all have a long way to go in the learning department.
That's the overarching question here, I think. And
So yeah, it's a short video, and like I said, she kind of doesn't have quite the appropriate language maybe, but she does make a very important point there if you read between the lines and understand what she said. If she's only being held to those statute codes and stuff, then what about the very foundation that they came from, the spiritual principles? Seems to me like she might be trying to stand on those spiritual principles, but doesn't know how to, I'll say at this point, incorporate them into her presentment. And then I've also got another video that I want to play a portion of from one of the guys I subscribe to, Flex Your Freedoms. And so we're going to take a look at that here after a bit, but I want to run through some of these shorts first. And remember, folks,
you're a comedian and you got canceled for a domestic.
And remember, folks, the StreamYard link is down there for anybody that wants to join the panel. I welcome you.
Assault joke. And then in response to that, instead of apologizing like a good boy, you put up a joke ad site about special needs helmets to protect the people who are offended by you. And now, to get yourself out of trouble, you're going to come on my podcast.
I never
That's
said
your
that.
plan,
I
eh?
was hoping it would make things way worse.
You're a comedian and you got
I just thought that was a funny one, because that's what we're trying to do, people, is push the boundaries. And that's how we show that we're pushing the boundaries, is by recognizing the people that are pushing those boundaries and welcoming them. That's what we need to do. We have to get out of our comfort zone. Part of that is dealing with other people that go outside of those boundaries and push the limits. The next one, let's see what this is.
This contractor discovered $500,000 worth of cash forgotten behind a bathroom wall, but was not allowed to keep it.
Oh yeah, this is going to go to a principal-in-law, true owner.
In 2006, Bob Kitts, a builder from Ohio, was hired to renovate the bathroom of an old friend named Amanda Reese. While tearing down a wall, he discovered hidden boxes filled with an amazing treasure of over $500,000 in cash. In shock, he immediately called Amanda. They briefly celebrated and took pictures, but their fortune quickly turned into a nightmare. Bob wanted 40%, but Amanda refused and offered him 10%. He ended up suing her and invoked a finder's keeper's law. However, this made the dispute public and prompted the descendants of the home's.
See, it was a finder's keeper's law. Whereas if the one that lost it actually knew it was lost and could make a claim on it, it would go to the true owner. That's what happens in this case.
Previous owner to claim ownership of the money. In the end, it was split between Bob, who got $3,500, and the previous owner's 21 descendants, who got the rest. Amanda wasn't awarded any money and even had to sell the home and file for bankruptcy soon after. How do you think the money should have been split?
So it goes to say that somebody should have probably just accepted the offer and not squabbled about it so much. And again, you know, who's to say though? If you want equity, you must first come with equity. So that part of it means you're always truthful and give the ability of a true owner to come forth and make the claim that, hey, I lost that. This is kind of the same principle in that last one with the gal in the court that was trying to point out to a higher and greater authority, and yet she's being subjected merely to the statutes, codes, rules, and regulations. She didn't say it as well as some could say it, but I believe that's the context she was trying to present. The next one, let's see what it is. Oh, yeah.
Last year. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you so much.
This is a profound one, folks. Pay attention to what this lady brings to the table. And it should be common sense, but it ain't quite so.
And then ask your intelligence will say, now you're their responsibility. I'm sure FBI gonna protect you.
Sure.
So when they reached out to me to come give a speech, I was excited. I was like, finally they're gonna protect me. And then 2 days before my speech, the head of diversity calls me.
The head of diversity?
Yeah.
At the FBI?
Yeah. And then
great.
she says, like, we have to answer your speech.
Yeah.
And why?
You're not diverse enough?
And then she's like, yeah, because of your political opinions. And this is so funny. And then in my American interview, citizenship interview, my interviewer asking me this exact question. Have you ever persecuted anybody for their political opinion? You know, if you said yes, you cannot become American.
But you can become FBI.
So we see how one of the main premises that they found, the principle of allowing someone to conduct their affairs in unison with them, is the principle that you cannot express a political bias or anything. And yet that's exactly what they do by that very question. You understand that? That's a loop-de-loop, folks. The next one, and then we'll get on to that video I wanted to review.
Between these two women. For better?
For better.
For worse?
For worse.
We're going to take a look at the difference between women.
Now look at the difference between these two women. For better?
And various different outlooks. I'm not saying this is every woman, of course not, because we've got a comparison between two different women, and what it's showing is the varied extremes of what we see. It's just profound how this first one compares to the second one. Watch how this first one reacts to certain things that should be cognizable, recognizable, and as once expressed by the guy that's providing the marriage and everything. He said that in their marriage counseling, their prior counseling before they got married, there was a discussion about various things. Pay attention to her response.
For better.
For worse?
For worse.
For richer?
For richer.
For poor?
For poorer.
We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Real made it very clear to Johnson, you cannot be broke. In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one.
We didn't talk about that one. We didn't talk about that one. Listen to this.
We did talk about that in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling.
Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
I'll forever submit to you, Miles. I'll forever respect you, Miles. I'll forever honor you, Miles. as the head of our home. In heaven, they hear. On earth, I declare and decree, I shall be a submissive wife unto you.
I don't know about
If I'm
now. Look at the difference.
And I'm not saying every woman or every relationship should be like that, but there should be a contextual foundation of something like the second one. Some kind of honor system and respect and knowing it firsthand. Whereas the first one, there were a few different blanks that occurred there, and that should be a succinct warning. This isn't a game, people. It's actually sad to see it. Oops. Okay, let me see if I can find the spot here. My apologies, folks.
I do.
What's up, Keith?
Billy.
Greetings,
So
brother.
I would like to
Greetings.
give a quick background. Excuse me. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you my address.
And I didn't drop his link in the details yet. I should go back and do that. But this is Flex Your Freedoms, and he's running around here in Iowa. He's trying to help other people doing the same kind of thing. Butt Crack News Network and Afro Man Audits, a couple other guys in Iowa here. And this is down in Marion, Iowa City Council meeting. And this guy, yeah.
Am I causing this back noise? How do I stop it? I apologize.
Let me look in your audio here and see if there's reduced background noise. How's that work for you?
Go ahead.
Is that going to be better? Is that going to be better?
Now, let me turn my mic off.
All right. And what we're looking at here is this guy. I'm going to let this guy tell most of it, but this guy's been in and out of it, and he knows his Constitution. He was in the military, and he does a great job at composure and really putting it bluntly and truthfully with the steadfast sternness that we need to start embracing in our directives to these community leaders. So please pay attention. I think he is very heartfelt and one of the greatest men in these lands.
So I want to start off with telling you a bit of who I am and what I've done. I served our country in the Army, airborne infantry, on the front lines, multiple combat deployments. I had my friend and others die literally in my arms. So I take this oath that you just swore to the Constitution very seriously. And I'm guessing you probably don't know anything about that oath that you swore today. I'm sure you don't. And that's a shame, because here.
And the context here is this guy on the far left here, he was just sworn in as mayor this very same day. This is just yesterday or the day before. And he was sworn in as the new mayor. And he took that oath, and he's telling him, you don't know nothing about that oath you took. You took an oath in dishonor because you took an oath to a constitution you don't even know. That's the basic premise. Again, read between the lines. This is a very serious statement.
in Marion, Iowa, corruption runs deep. And it starts with this guy right here, Mike the Cuck Kitzmiller. He is very corrupt. He's stated many times.
Literally called him a cuck right there in front of everybody. Nobody batted an eye.
He doesn't care about that oath. He doesn't even remember it. We have him on camera saying this. He doesn't care about that oath. He will arrest you whether it's wrong or right and have the courts deal with it. That's what he said verbatim. I have him.
And as he said, that's the cop that's out there arresting people. Again, took an oath to that Constitution, claim and openly stated he doesn't know it, doesn't remember it, doesn't care. So you see how rampant it runs in these kind of city organizations where they want the power and the control, but they have no clue as to the truth and the knowledge that they're avoiding, evading, and corrupting.
On camera, I just released a video of him and of all the corruption in Marion, Iowa. Over 100,000 people have watched it, and I'm going to continue to expose you guys until you take this oath to the Constitution seriously. Because my friends' deaths, they mean a lot to me. That oath means a lot to me. And to have people like him, Mike Kitzmiller, that doesn't care about that oath. He doesn't care about our rights. He's here to strip our rights. He doesn't care. Have you checked out how corrupt Lynn County is in general? No one cares about our freedoms here. And the people that don't care about the freedoms, they're the enemy. They're ruining America, land of the free. It's no longer land of the free because no one here even cares about their oath. I don't know, maybe a couple of you might, but from what I've seen, no one here cares about the oath to the Constitution, our freedoms. I took that same oath. I take it seriously. And it's not being taken seriously, especially in Marion, Iowa, Pigpen, the police department, so corrupt. Watch the video, Flex Your Freedoms. Over 100,000 views, and I'll keep throwing them out there. We get 100,000 views, no problem. And it exposes the corruption in Marion. Check it out, Flex Your Freedoms, because you will see true corruption. And if you want the problem fixed, honor that oath and kick him out because he is a traitor. He's the enemy here. Look at him squirming, he knows it's true.
And what he's talking about here is this mayor, regardless of whether he knows that Constitution, he knows right from wrong. And the simple fact that the sheriff, who he knows is supposed to take an oath to that very same Constitution, is willing to stand there and admit that he doesn't know it, doesn't remember, and doesn't care. And yet this is the guy he wants out there arresting people. If he wants to show that he truly knows right from wrong and is an honorable man that just took an oath to be that honorable man for the people, is going to prove otherwise if he doesn't do something about it. Pay attention to how this shit works, people.
And I'm not going to just have this keep happening every time. And I know you swore that oath, and I'm guessing it's freedom of speech. Learn it. Obviously, you swore that oath just minutes ago, and you don't know jack about that oath. You're the problem too. Wake up, city council members. Wake up. He's not good. He's not good. He's evil. This guy's evil. This guy's shaking his head. No, you guys are corrupt. What's the Fourth Amendment? Do any of you even know? Yeah, that's what I thought, of course. It would have been if one of you just said it, But I know, does anybody know the freedoms that we have here? It's a shame. It's a joke. It is disgusting.
And while we're at it then, I want to ask the same thing of the people here watching. What do you know of that Constitution? See, this is how you put them in the place. Is that by letting them know you know the Constitution that they took their very oath to and the obligations, responsibilities, and duties they're under, for which they get compensated. If they get compensated and they're not fulfilling that, then why are they being compensated? They're making a mockery of the people. You got to understand how the game is played so you can make them play the game that's like they're supposed to. Again, I want to point out a very poignant point that he makes is that officer took an oath to the very same Constitution and openly admits that he doesn't know it, doesn't remember it, and doesn't care.
Do better. Do better. Learn your oath. You just swore it. Learn what you swore to. Okay, I'm gonna end with this. You guys are all stupid nerds. Learn the Constitution. And I see you over there. I see you, Sarah Mintzer. I know you're involved with corruption as well. Don't do the eye tilt at me. I know I have things on you. I have things on all you guys. Just wait. You guys are going to continue to be exposed. Honor your oath, because I take that seriously. So do my.
And what he's talking about there when he says, I have things on you guys, these people laid their own rope, and they're going to get tangled up in their own rope, like the officer. You think he's going to stay around too much longer? He openly admitted that shit. He ain't going to stay around. You watch. We're going to keep an eye on this one as it develops. It's been developing for a while. Like I said, go check out Butt Crack News, Afro Man Audits, and Flex Your Freedoms. I'll drop those links in the details later after we're done.
Dead friends. Shame on you. Okay, I'm gonna end with this. You guys are all stupid nerds. Learn the Constitution. And I see you over there. I see you, Sarah Mintzer. I know you're involved with corruption as well. Don't do the eye tilt at me. I know I have things on you. I have things on all you guys. Just wait. You guys are going to continue to be exposed. Honor your oath, because I take that seriously. So do my dead friends. Shame on you, especially you, Mike. Shame on you. That's a coward sitting right there.
And the bomb as he walks off. My dead friends. That should be very poignant. Because again, those men that went over there fighting in these wars that are careless and unnecessary and did so under the faith and foundation of that very Constitution. The very people that protect this country supposedly, or are held to that responsibility, obligation of all that, if it comes to that, those are the very people that they're showing no respect to. Again, how many veterans do we have that are homeless? How many veterans do we have that aren't receiving the proper health care that they're guaranteed? How many veterans are not receiving a portion of land, a parcel of land in which they could retire and live a peaceful life after years of war? So let's get on to the next one. And this is an interesting thing on the psychological aspect and how you can use it for subliminal mind control. It's a simple little video. Watch this. And it works really well on animals. Animals. It's much like the same concept of building a pen around a pig by putting up one side of it at a time and putting a food bowl by it. You see how that works? Sometimes if you just learn how to quit acting like a goddamn sheep and take upon your not natural talents to observe through your eyes and ears, you can see the deception subliminally before you. Quit being a fucking animal. The next one.
Legislative session, I've been asked, Nick, why don't you support, quote, common sense gun control laws? Well, let me go ahead and explain this as respectfully as I can. It's not that I don't understand that some people have been touched by violence, and specifically gun violence, in a very, very personal way, and they want to see some justice from that. I completely understand and sympathize. What I don't understand is why anybody thinks it is common sense to take guns away from people that committed no crime in the hopes that it will dissuade people who have already made up their minds that they're going to commit a crime. Now, I get it. Your hope is that if you make it harder to get a firearm, then bad people won't get access to the firearms. And I understand that's your hope. But let me tell you what I can guarantee will happen. If you make it harder for law-abiding citizens to get firearms, they will absolutely find it harder to get firearms because they obey the law in the first place. And I am very skeptical of any sort of, quote, solution or, quote, common sense policy which seeks to diminish the freedoms of people that are doing nothing wrong instead of punishing people that are doing something wrong.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Remember, people, you can't be the militia that a country needs to guide its president in its military command in order to protect the country if you don't know what it is. If you don't know how to carry out those functions. If you're not equipped to carry out those functions. And again, folks, one of the main functions in order to function in any function in life is to have the knowledge of how it functions. The next one.
Are the tides turning? Yes, yes, they are. A trad wife, Christian mother, homesteader of 7, just won the Miss America pageant.
This is a great one. I remember this one.
Asked what the best thing in her life is, she had this to say.
When have you felt the most empowered?
I have felt this feeling 7 times now as I bring these sacred souls to the earth after I hold that newborn baby in my arms.
See, this woman just said that she recognizes herself as a soul bringer. See, we're not bringing little children into the world. We're bringing a soul into the world that is in the form of in the material form of a child. At the end, the dust will return to the earth, but the spirit returns to the Father. Very distinct principle. Greetings, Hoppins. How you doing today, brother?
Greetings, Hitler.
So the next one, oh, let me finish that other one first. Got to finish it first.
The feeling of motherhood and bringing them to the earth is the most empowering feeling I have ever felt.
Are the tides?
And I think that's probably true and correct because I remember when both of my children came into the world, that was a very empowering moment. One was born by C-section and the other was a natural birth. So, of course, the C-section, which was the first one, I wasn't allowed to be in the room. The second one, my son, was a natural birth, and I actually got my baby boy. They had to literally cut the cord with him in my arms. And they're very empowering moments when you realize that you do give a breath in life. That is a spiritual essence. And that's what it's created from. It is the spirit. It's the spirit manifest in the physical form. And you have all that power to do that. Why wouldn't you enjoy that the best you can? So let's get on to the next one. And this one is kind of a stage situation, I call, because it's kind of like the First Amendment auditors and stuff. They're actually going out and doing this stuff on purpose, and it kind of hinges on the thing about praying in public, that honor and glory that you receive for doing kind acts in public. I think the scriptures, the way I interpret them, is it's okay to commit kind acts in public, but to make a scenery of it is something different. So let's see this, and the young man involved here, obviously, of course, has a great sense of
I fucking hate these videos, man. People are just cloud chasing.
Thank you so much.
I lost my brother in a car accident, and I just know what it's like to feel sad, and I don't want anyone else to feel that way.
Well, I actually want to surprise you with that $500.
Oh my god, thank you so much. Can we go spread some cheer with this?
You want to do with it?
Pay for people's groceries with it.
this is the amazing part. This is why, even though I have a issue with it, I wanted to go ahead and show it, because again, like I said, the empowerment that we get in life, that we saw in the previous short, is expanded upon here. This is your power to be able to let young children like this grow up in that sense of being able to freely give directly from their heart.
Pay for your groceries. I would like to pay for your shopping. Oh, I just want to see you smile. Just wanted to pay for your groceries today.
Thank you so much. Birthday cake, so you'll make his stuff. Just pay for our groceries.
I'm just
Well, yeah, that was pretty cool. What do you think about that one?
It was staged.
Yeah, it was staged, but again, the concept, if you watch, that those are the honorable things that we're supposed to be enhancing. And the way it was showed, I think that was a good way of showing that. Even though, again, it was a staged publicity thing, like I said, and that's the only thing I really had against it. But the message that came out is what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to instill in our children. Despite the fact that it was staged, if we had children that acted like that constantly, we wouldn't need to stage it. They would see it automatically in each other just because they see it in us. That's where the problem extends. We're not passing that on to our younger generation, publicly or privately. Okay, let's check out the next one.
I saw a
a cupcake cute one.
about the size of my thumb on the driveway, and I couldn't tell what type of an animal it was, so I brought it in and wrapped it up to warm it up, and then got on the internet, did some research, and I thought, I think I have a squirrel here. I really didn't think he would survive, but I decided to give it a try. I began him on puppy milk formula. I had to feed him that every 3 hours around the clock. When he was about 30 days old, he opened his eyes. He was beginning to crawl on me. As time went on, I began to realize that he was going to survive, and him and I became friends.
Yeah, and little creatures like this, again, scripturally, we're supposed to minister the word of God to all creatures. The word of God isn't simply love. So when we run across a situation like that, again, the knowledge is what helps us. We can extend that love because we know what they need. So we're able to provide that when they take on a loss or they've been kicked out of a nest or something. I've done this many times with many different creatures. So again, it's a ministering the word of the gospel to all creatures. And then the greatest thing of that is that those very first steps there, that's what creates that natural bond. And so it's a cross-border natural bonding through the spirit itself. It's already there. Just have to enhance it. How do you enhance it? By knowing when things are out of balance, you can put them back into balance.
It was time to release him. So I bought a squirrel house. He loved it, and that was his home. He bonded with me. He comes in the house when he wants to. We're friends, and sometimes he'll sit on my knee while I watch television. When he's ready to go outside, just like a pet, he'll run to the door. I saw it.
I'm very inspired. I might try to get a squirrel for hopping trains. Have a pet squirrel hopping trains.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, brother. I mean, think about it. I used to go around all the time with a fucking bird in my pocket, dude. People would freak out. You know, all of a sudden the bird would
You
pop
were
up
that
out of my
guy.
pocket.
You were
Yeah.
that guy. Yeah.
I was, absolutely. Went into the store one time and a little baby bunny poked his head out of my pocket. They said, "Oh my God, what's next?" The next one is another cupcake, wonderful ministering to the creatures of the world.
Then jump into my car.
This lady's life was about to change unexpectedly.
Oh my goodness, honey.
She had never seen this dog before and was completely shocked when she moved closer.
Oh my gosh.
He had scratches everywhere, a patchy fur coat, and she knew she needed to help.
I think he's probably a very pretty dog with some hair.
They took him straight to the vet,
It is just a really bad allergy to the fleas.
started his treatment, and introduced him to his new brother.
Both their tails are wagging.
She gave him lots of love.
Feels so good.
And this is the aspect of when your cup welleth over, you're supposed to allow those that need it, put it to use. So when you find something that can use something that you have, you're supposed to give it freely. It's the way the universe works. We're supposed to tend and care for each other, every creature.
And he started to look a lot better.
You're not looking so red no more.
Her hard work paid off and his fur returned.
He's looking so good.
He loves his new home very much, but always remembers the car
He heard me out here and he's like, put me in this car, huh?
where he was once saved.
Interesting, interesting. I do like those kind of stories. Those are the heartwarming stories that I can cupcake about without having to cupcake with a brother and make it all fucking stupid, you know? So I got two more to go and then we're done.
After this woman was asked to foster a blind American bully, she agreed to do so under the condition that it was only for 2 weeks. The dog's name.
This is another one, I guess, but I want to make sure the point here is to understand the importance of that care and love when we run across creatures that can't do without it at all. I mean, this is what we're talking about, is giving these animals the life that they're meant to have by helping to keep them healthy. And even when they're healthy, there are some things that are just disabilities that we still have to be able to nurture and care about. And sometimes that is the lifelong obligation in those respects. It's not something that you can only do for 2 weeks.
Nickname is Ham Samuel, and within a few days of having him at home with her, she absolutely fell in love with the dog and knew that she needed to give him a forever home. She spent months training the blind dog in unique ways, helping him navigate through life without his vision. 2 years later, she was contacted by a different rescue group about another blind dog, a 9-week-old American bully that also needed a family. That dog's nickname was Meatball, and without hesitation, the woman picked him up at the airport the next day. These two are now known as the Blind Brothers, and although training a blind dog can be very challenging, nurturing, she's implementing the things that she learned with Ham Samuel, such as putting hoops around their heads so they don't bump into things, or walking them both up the stairs when they get scared, just like she did with Ham Samuel when he was a puppy. Since not many people are willing to adopt a blind dog, there's a high chance that these pups would have been euthanized if it weren't for this woman opening her heart, giving them the amazing life that they're now living.
So it becomes an expression of sometimes in your respect of that love and nurturing, caring, you have to take on unexpected responsibilities and learning. She had to learn how to treat blind dogs because she'd never known anything about it before, so she had to create things her own. This is by stretching those boundaries. We have to learn how to stretch our boundaries in all aspects, and I think one of the best ways to do that is learning how to care and nurture for the natural animals around us. It gives us a deeper sense. Even if you don't have children, it's one of the greatest aspects of learning about that kind of nurture and care is in the animals. Copy Mother Nature. Help Mother Nature. She's tending you. Help her tend to those that are desolate. That's the basic scriptural message. The last one, guys, and then we're out.
This girl was locked outside of their apartment, and
Another one. I didn't remember putting them in this order like this, but I did it specifically because it shows us again not only the care and knowledge that we have, but the care and knowledge that they can give in return. Watch this. This is just awesome.
The only one who could open the door for her was her roommate's cat. So she sat behind the door and softly knocked on it to let the cat know that she was locked outside and he needed to open the door for her.
Yes, you can do it. You can do it. Just press it down. Go to keep trying.
It appeared that the cat had tried to open the door multiple times but failed, but the girl begged him to keep trying, and after a couple more tries, the cat finally managed to open the door.
Man, she did this before. It's
Well,
all stage. It's all stage, man. That cat was trained. So
exactly, that's the point. That's the point. The training comes from the care and all of that creates the bond, and then the communication comes automatically. You start learning how to communicate with each other, and sometimes it doesn't take any kind of other language or somebody else to teach you. You just learn on your own. You learn how to communicate without all the words and nonsense. There are natural communications, and again, it's a body language that comes from developing a bonding that should come natural.
yeah, what I'm saying is the way I'm thinking it's probably not an authentic first try video. She's probably done that before, training the cat.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I'm
it's
thinking.
yeah, I agree. But at the same time, how do we get to that point? From first attempting it authentically without having that experience. It goes by development. And if we don't start trying to expand that by trying new things, those things won't come about. We'll find less and less solutions. She'd have had to come up with a different solution to unlock that door.
Yeah.
Whereas with a simple
I'm just
catalog,
tired. I'm tired of people faking the funk with these like authentic videos, but it's really just
well, yeah, and that's why I mentioned that earlier. It's set up, it's programmed, it's played, and it's a performance type thing. And the scriptures tell us not to do that. But at the same time, in viewing those, we can discern the message that it's trying to portray. So we get to be able to separate from the messenger and get beyond that point and look at the message that they're trying to convey. Because if there truly is a message, maybe it'd be a good point to listen to that.
Yeah, I'm just a grumpy old man. I can see through the bullshit,
Yeah, you fit right in with me, brother. I appreciate
Gran
it.
Torino.
All right. Anything else there, brother? Otherwise, we're going to drop out of here. I got to go spend some time with the companion.
Nah, that's it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being up, brother. I always love you coming up and expressing your points of view. That's what
Yeah,
we
I
need.
caught you too late, man. Until next time.
All right. All right. Thanks for coming up.
All right, stay black.
And with that, folks, you know me. I love you. I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back or not. So may God bless you and have a good night. There's a PayPal link down there for anybody who wants to share some love. Make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe on your way out and get this stuff out, folks. Got to learn how to stand up for yourself and do it with knowledge.